the Gaza conflict, which unequivocally states, I quote, "No one will be forced to leave Gaza," unquote. Any actions that advocate or imply displacement or resettlement not only violate international law, but also undermine the prospect of a just and lasting peace. We reaffirm our steadfast support for the Palestinian people in their legitimate struggle for self-determination. The only path to lasting peace and stability lies in the realization of an independent, contiguous and sovereign state of Palestine on pre-1967 borders, with Al-Quds al-Sharif as its capital. In conclusion, Mr. President, Pakistan calls upon the Security Council and the broader international community to speak with one voice and reject all actions that undermine Somalia's unity and territorial integrity. On our part, we remain firmly and resolutely committed to standing with the government and people of Somalia in the country's march towards peace and prosperity.
Outside of the Middle East, as you know the Middle East, they want to go in and wipe out Hamas. They don't want Israel. They don't need Israel. They want to do it because it's the right thing to do, because they were for the deal based on the fact that Hamas pledged, they swore that they were going to disarm. Now, if they're not going to disarm, those same countries will wipe out Hamas. Yeah.
President Trump, do you think that the PA should be involved the day after in Gaza Strip, even in the near future? And the same question to Prime Minister Netanyahu. Do you see a real opportunity that the PA will be in Gaza?
Go ahead, Mimi.
I think President Trump put clearly the conditions of reform that he wants to see in the PA for them to be involved. And I think he put it very clearly what he wants to see, the kind of real reforms, not just perfunctory reforms, but real reforms. Stop pay to slay, change the curriculum in your textbooks, open up, a different society and a different future. If they do it, well, let them, I think it was clear. He put
pretty clear.
He put guidelines that were, by the way, in the Trump plan of 2020, and they were put then in the 20 points, and it's up to them.
Remember this: if we didn't do what we did to Iran, just to make the subject just slightly different, you wouldn't have peace in the Middle East. You wouldn't have a deal signed in the Middle East. You wouldn't have a deal, because other Arab nations, which are great people. I know them very well. I know them. They're great people. They wouldn't be able to have agreed to peace in the Middle East because you would have had a dark cloud hanging over everything. It wouldn't have been possible. So Iran has been greatly reduced in power, prestige. I don't want to use the word humiliation because, they're trying to build up again. But we can't let them build up, because if they build up, there can't be peace in the Middle East. It was a mistake. When they wiped out Iraq and Iran were about the same power. And they fought each other with different names for 1,000 years. And then our country came out and blew up one of those two countries, namely Iraq. And all of a sudden, Iran had the whole Middle East all to itself. But that's not true anymore. That's not true anymore.
Can you tell us something about your plan? Tell us something about your plan to expand the Abraham Accords. Tell us something about your plan to expand the Abraham Accords. If you can tell us something about your plan to expand the Abraham Accords.
Well, the Abraham Accords are a great achievement of Jared and everybody. It was one of the great achievements. They'll be expanded. Countries are already talking about expanding it, and they'll be expanded fairly quickly. Yeah, please.
What about Saudi Arabia? Is it still on the table? The normalization?
Saudi Arabia is great. We have a great leader, and a friend of mine, and a friend of a lot of people. Also an enemy of some people, but those people aren't doing so well. Saudi Arabia has been very good, as far as I'm concerned. They've done everything that we can ask for.
But normalization with Israel is on the table?
They're getting along great with Israel. They will. And at some point, they'll sign the Abraham Accords.
Mr. President, we know. So one of the big domestic tasks ahead of you is to pick a new chairman for the Fed.
Yeah.
You've said that you have one favorite, but you're also doing interviews.
Still do. Hasn't changed. Yeah, I'll announce him at the right time. There's plenty of time.
Are you? Is
But
there
in the
any
meantime,
chance?
we're doing numbers that nobody's ever seen. We have $18 trillion coming in. We had a 4.3% GDP. They thought it was going to be 2%. And that's despite the Democrat shutdown. Had the shutdown not occurred, we would have had an extra 1.25. Think of that. We are doing, and also despite the fact that we have a fool at the Federal Reserve. I mean, Biden reappointed him, and it's too bad. You would have thought he wouldn't have done that. But he's an absolute fool who's building a new Federal Reserve, or he's doing a renovation of a building. Maybe he's up to $4.1 billion to do a renovation of a few very small buildings. It's the highest price in the history of construction. He's spending more money than any building has ever spent per square foot on the renovation of, as an example, I'm doing a magnificent, big, beautiful ballroom that the country has wanted, the White House has wanted for 150 years. It's a massive job, and it's a tiny fraction of that number. And we're under budget and ahead of schedule. Now, it's bigger than I told you. It's after realizing we're going to do the inauguration in that building, it's got all bulletproof glass. It's got all drone, they call it drone-free roof. The drones won't touch it. It's a big, beautiful, safe building. But it's a big project for a tiny fraction of that. We're under budget and ahead of schedule. And they've wanted it for 150 years. Think of it, the Federal Reserve building, 2 buildings there, they don't know what they're doing. They're way over budget. I mean, almost, this was built during the Biden administration, and I rode by it the other day, and it's headed by the head of the Federal Reserve. Too late, too late, Powell. Too late because he's always too late with interest rates, except before the election he was too early because that would have helped. That was supposed to help get her elected. It had no impact. We won all 7 swing states. But no. We're thinking about bringing a suit against Powell for incompetence. Because think of it, these aren't outstanding buildings. These are small buildings. He said $4 billion more. It's going to end up costing more than $4 billion. $4 billion. It's the highest price.
और अमेरिकी सदर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप इस वक्त प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस कर रहे हैं और वो इस वक्त गुफ्तगू कर रहे हैं.
Incompetence, what's called gross incompetence lawsuit. It's gross incompetence against Powell. And it was his baby. And the guy's just incompetent. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. He's just a very incompetent man. But we're going to probably bring a lawsuit against him. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Bibi, congratulations.
Thank you.
When do you expect an announcement then on Powell's replacement?
January sometime.
And will you ask Jay Powell to resign?
Well, he should resign.
Entirely?
Be a favor to the nation. But he's come close. I mean, we're getting pretty close. I would fire him. I'd love to fire him, but we're so close, maybe maybe I still might.
Will you sell F-35
to the Turkey?
Say it?
Are you going to approve a selling of F-35 to the Turkey?
We're thinking about it very seriously.
And what prevented reaction to this?
They'll never.
अमेरिकी सदर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप और इस्राएली वज़ीर आज़म मीटिंग के बाद सवालों के जवाब दे रहे थे. मार-ए-लागो में ये मीटिंग हुई और इस मौके पर अमेरिकी सदर ने यह भी कहा कि सऊदी अरबिया भी इब्राहिमी मुआहिदे पर दस्तखत कर सकता है. और अमेरिकी सदर डोनाल्ड ट्रंप अब से कुछ देर पहले इस्राएली वज़ीर आज़म नेतन्याहू से मुलाकात के बाद गुफ्तगू कर रहे थे और सहाफ़ियों के सवालों का जवाब भी दिया. पाकिस्तान में नाजरीन अब देख सकेंगे प्रोग्राम आज शाहजेब खानजादा के साथ, जबकि जियो इंटरनेशनल के नाजरीन के लिए खबरों का सिलसिला जारी है.
आज शाहजेब खानजादा के साथ इज ब्रॉट टू यू इन एसोसिएशन विद फ्यूजिका बैटरीज, जोंग 4G, बिग ऑरेंज बाय मरी ब्रूरी, सूफी सुपर डिटर्जेंट पाउडर, Parle Gold Gleam Beauty Cream, Vivo V60, Hairwell shampoo hair color, Arena Gold beauty cream, Nestle Everyday, Canon electric geyser, Nisa collagen booster, Royal washing machine, Sufi Banaspati and cooking oil, Master Royal Matte Emulsion, Shaukat Khanam Memorial Cancer Hospital, Diamond Paints, Nestle Cerelac, Care Winter Lotion, Evie, Nestle Bunyad, Face Fresh, Golden Pearl BB Cream, Arshi Johar Jushanda, Vital Tea, GFC Washing